Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Sword of Truth podcast on the All the Things Podcast Network, the alcohol-fueled, chapter-by-chapter reread of the Sword of Truth series with a bucket of craft brew on the side. I'm Jade.
And I'm Nate, and on this episode, we are getting into Chapter 45 of Stone of Tears.
And I got through that.
First take. Every time. Call you First Take Jade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my nickname in high school.
And we call you that while we skip editing completely, because it's just not needed.
Yeah, never. Every time comes out polished and perfect. Right out of my mouth.
Well, congratulations on being the best.
Yeah, thanks.
Again. And speaking of the best, our last episode was our 100th episode extravaganza, as Jade calls it. I mean, it was. It was a lot of fun.
There was a lot of confetti.
There was a lot of confetti. But we just wanted to thank those of you who took the time to join us, and we are looking forward to doing the next 100 more.
I had a ton of fun last night, all 100 nights. I'm excited for tonight, too. So this chapter opens back up with Kahlan in the middle of that pile of angry, sweaty men with no fucking hope of getting out. And she suddenly hears the pounding of horse hooves and sees Bryn and Peter coming to her rescue, much to her and my surprise when I was reading the chapter. Just cutting through all these motherfuckers as quick as they can with their scythe of death.
I remember bringing that up to you. I had read it before you did, and you didn't remember that they came back. So then I was quiet, and then you read the chapter, and I was like, they totally fucking came back.
Yeah.
They are heroes.
Yeah, I actually argued with you, because you were like, I didn't know Bryn and Peter come back, and I was like, they don't? They are dead. Sorry about your luck.
They totally do. When I listened to this at work, and Kahlan was like, she saw Bryn and Peter, I was just like, yes! And I'm all alone in a corner of the building all by myself. So it's like I turn around and just go, yeah, to nobody.
I don't know why, but their names conjure up images of like Pippin and Merryweather.
Yes. Yes. The two besties who get shit done.
Yeah, the little hobbit dude.
Kind of side characters, but characters are just like, yeah.
Fuck yeah, they're gonna do it.
Now, granted, in the Lord of the Rings lore, they're much more main character. Not main, you know what I'm saying.
There's a lot of main characters in this.
Yes. But they're the same. They're like side characters that you love, and their story doesn't go super deep. But like, whenever we see these two, we're just like, them's my dudes right there.
Like the Weasley twins. It's always the two brotherly characters.
They're just laughing, causing fucking trouble.
Yeah. You're like, yeah, you sneak that fire whiskey. Yeah, you cut those men down.
Make them call shenanigans.
Kahlan uses this distraction to get her hand around a man's neck with one eye. She confesses him and tells him to protect her, and then it gets her butt back on Nick and starts hauling ass out of there. Weirdly, she tells her new little slave guy to follow her and run and not get caught up, which I thought was a little bit strange. Because I don't know that she should care that he makes it through, because he can't really be of much use, I guess, other than like brute force. For a second, I thought it was General Riggs, and that would have made sense, because like you can get answers out of him or whatever the fuck, but this is apparently some dude named Orsk?
Yeah, when we talked about this earlier, you had made it sound like it was Riggs, or like you had expected it to be him, because how many guys with like missing eyeballs could there be, is what you said to me. And we had a discussion about how, like, if you're in the front line of an army, the go-to move of the guy who's charging you is to go for the face, to make sure you go down instantly, because if he doesn't knock you out of his way, all of his buddies are going to trample him from behind.
Yeah.
So a lot of guys would be missing eyeballs. Just a guess, but, like, I think it makes sense.
Plus, I suppose they get in a lot of fights and, like, bullshit in the camp, too. So, I mean, I guess it's not super rare, but I just thought it was General Riggs at first. So, I was a little surprised when it wasn't. And then I was like, why the fuck do you care if he lives? Let him kill as many people as he can and then go down, right?
I think she wants Orsk to stick around because he's a big motherfucker. I picture this guy like the Mountain on Game of Thrones. Like, he's huge.
So you think she just wants, like, a bodyguard, then?
Fuck yeah.
I guess I can't blame her at this point.
We did actually talk about this in the not the last episode, but the last chapter, about how Kahlan went in kind of by herself. Even though she's with all of these troops, she's kind of off doing her own thing. There's no bodyguard. There's no protection. Now, I'm not saying she needs it, but I am saying she is the figurehead and leader of this army now, and she should be protected.
And no, I mean, first of all, you should always have protection. Like, it's just a better plan. But, yeah, no, I had this point later in this chapter, too. It's really, really weird that she is allowed multiple times in the last chapter to just go off and protect the men herself, putting herself in harm's way with no form of, like, backup.
Right, that would never happen today.
Yeah.
Like, the president doesn't go anywhere without a lot of people watching his ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he's the president.
Yeah, and I mean, she came on this journey with 3 motherfuckers that are specifically supposed to have her ass. Like, they are supposed to be there, and they're supposed to get her to aid and drill.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. They served an extra function, like teaching the rest of the wolf army, the now wolf man boy army, to fight. But there's no reason that while they were doing the raids, they couldn't have been with Kahlan. At least one of them.
I just don't see all 3 of them being like, yeah, cool, good idea. You go off on your own. Yeah.
That's a good idea. We all talked about it, and we figured you all by yourself was the best course of action.
Naked in a big group of men.
Yeah.
Your men and their men. Doesn't really matter. Not a great idea. So, as they're galloping away, Kahlan tells the boys that she didn't expect to see them again. And they're like, we fucking told you we were gonna do this shit. And they're just goddamn heroes.
Ye have little faith, Mother Confessor. We told you we had this.
Yeah, and they're very, like, mirthful about it, too.
Yeah.
They aren't, like, accusing. They're just like, ah!
That's where your Merry and Pippin is
Right.
coming in. Because you're just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Of course I was gonna come through.
Like them sitting on the ents, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So she tells them to catch up with the rest of the draft horses up ahead because they're being chased. The order's like hot on their tail, and they have no time to waste.
No time.
As Kahlan is catching up to the rest of the foot soldiers, she sees a straggler with a giant gash in his leg. Despite giving orders that everybody who falls behind is to be left behind, she pulls him up with her onto her horse. And there's a weird moment here that, while it's entertaining in the middle of this like highly action-packed sequence, it's weird to me, because I feel like at this point in the battle and the blood and all the crazy, the naked doesn't matter anymore. But this guy is like, oh, I don't want to touch you, and she's all like, don't brag about this too much later, and it's weird.
Yeah, she asked him, what's the matter? You never had your arms around a woman before? And he was like, she had clothes on. Props, I will say, to Jim Bond for going there, because he was trying to be funny.
Yeah.
Like, it sounded like he was trying to be funny, but I still give him points for reaching. That's awesome. Continue to do that. But yeah, no, this would not have been this moment. It would have been like, I've pulled you onto the horse. No, shut the fuck up. We have to be somewhere where we're not.
Yeah, if he
5 minutes ago.
If he hesitated, there wouldn't have been a joke about it. It would have been, fucking put your arms around me or I'm going to take off and you're going to die.
Yeah, and let's not forget, the man who falls behind is left behind is pirate fucking code. And everybody knows that you do not break pirate code.
Yeah,
it's like AISing the kids. I am leaving the driveway in the Jeep in 5 minutes. If you are there in 6 minutes, I will be gone. So that's on you. You have 5 minutes.
All the information
4
you
minutes
need.
now. Yeah.
So they run up a narrow pass, and Kahlan taps her sword on the rock wall, giving the signal. And one of the men is like, hey, it's too early. We're going to get caught up in this shit. And Kahlan is like, well, you better fucking run then, huh?
Run faster, noob. Let's go.
She, meanwhile, is on a horse while just reminding you that she's yelling this at them while she's on a fucking horse.
You can see, like, the drill sergeant in the army riding backwards on the golf cart with the bullhorn, just hollering at the guys to run faster. that would be a very comical way of seeing this scene, but that's what she's doing.
Yeah, exactly. Kahlan gives the signal again, and the men up top create the avalanche that is apparently the thing that they were banking on. She alluded to this like a couple times in the last chapter.
Escape plan.
Yes, the thing that we weren't allowed to know before now.
Secret plan.
Which is very much like what she did with the horse and the snow out of the branches, which is like, I don't know. We've all seen this in like a TV show, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like the cartoons taking the branch and wiping away their footprints after they've,
like
gone into...
Dalmatians.
Yes, exactly that. This is what that is, except it's large scale.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think to use a whole mountainside to your advantage, or like me personally wouldn't have thought to use the bough of a tree to clear off my horse's path so I could hide. Kahlan is using her surroundings because she's smart. I think that's what good kinds point to her doing these things were. She's thinking on a level that I am personally not thinking. I'm not going to say that not everybody is there, because I'm sure a lot of you are, but I'm not claiming to be.
I mean, I wouldn't be quick like this, I don't think, in this situation.
I mean, in a like a mountain cliffy area, my first thought would not be, hey, let's cause an avalanche.
I would be worried about falling before the avalanche. Like just falling off the side of the mountain.
Just in general, if I fall and get stuck by the snow, I am going to be so mad.
I mean, I'm clumsy as hell. So if anyone's going to just fall off the side of the mountain, it's going to be me.
Well, and you hate snow, so...
Yep.
These are facts.
So, Kahlan worries for a moment if she did give the signal too soon, because the snow starts falling on them, and she's like, fuck. But they make it out of there, kind of like a surfer barely making it out of a wave. One of those barrel fucking waves.
Yeah, just last second.
Yeah, they're breaking through the crest of the snow, it's all epic.
When he sees the water start to come over his head and he knows he's fully in a tunnel, that's got to be Kahlan getting smacked in the face with that first bit of snow.
Yeah.
Because if it's going to be that close, and we find out here that, well, in a little bit, that they are actually missing guys, but they still have quite a few guys that have to run through this thing. After Kahlan has already been hit in the face with snow, they have seconds at best to get all of their guys through this one point, and the snow crashes down and it effectively seals them off.
Yeah, I mean, even if these guys know that this is the path they took, there's a ton of fucking snow that they have to contend with to get through there, so it's not going to be easy. Yeah,
I don't think it's like a permanent, they can't get through here anymore. I think they could probably go around. It's just going to take them some time.
Exactly.
Thank you. Point to me.
The men have to keep running to stay warm, and Kahlan has a thought about how their feet are, quote-unquote, not warm. That is literally what it says in the book. Their feet are not warm with the strips of cloth on them. And I just have to say, okay, that is the biggest fucking understatement I have ever heard. These guys are walking around naked in the snow. They're cold as hell. And
why?
Because it's fucking snow. And I have put my foot in snow, okay? Just bare ass foot. And it is the furthest thing from just not warm that you could get. They are going to lose their feet.
Why did you put your foot in the snow?
You drop something out the back door, or your dog is an asshole and doesn't drop his toy close enough to the back door. You reach out and you try to grab it, and then you realize it was the worst mistake you've ever made.
Okay, all right, I'll give you that. I couldn't think of a reason why I'd have my bare feet outside in the middle of February, but... or
that
could happen.
You are a dumb teenage girl wearing flip-flops in 7th grade because it's cool in the wintertime.
Don't look at me, man. I had boots.
I mean...
And I don't like flip-flops.
It happens.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying.
Well...
I don't do that